OG subs would appreciate this. Whoa, what's good, man? My name is FlemLo. Brass want to welcome y'all back to another episode of This Week in Last Chance U. This is the series where I take every single piece of Last Chance U news that has come across my radar, chop it up, dissect it, and serve it to you in a way that's palatable and efficient. I like that. Now, before I jump in, I want to say that these episodes may end up going to twice a week because there's honestly been just a constant flow of news that I can drop. I've been sitting on this first story since last week. Like, this news dropped like one day after I dropped last week's video. So you might get 2 episodes this week, but I heard y'all loud and clear. I know you like the show format, so I will not drop an episode if I don't have multiple topics to cover that could fill up a whole show. Last thing before we jump in, just want to remind y'all to click the thumbs up button if you dig these videos, man. Don't forget to subscribe here if you brand new. Today's video is gonna feature Malik Henry, Bobby Bruce, John Franklin III, Miss Latanya Pinker, Isaiah Wright, Dakota Allen, Chad Kelly, and a unique piece of information that I got directly from DJ Law. If you rock with any or all of those characters, make sure y'all sticking around for the duration of the video. But without further ado, you know what time it is. This week in Last Chance U, let's get it.
Yeah, you'll never no quitter, 'cause I'ma go get her.
So every single week of this show, Malik Henry has managed to lead the show by giving us some news. And this week, no exception. Now, I've been sitting on this one for quite a few days now, and it's the main reason I decided to go ahead and drop this episode early. So last week, I found out that Malik Henry was listed on Indy's roster for this year. Now, initially, it was unclear whether or not this was just an oversight and he was left on the roster accidentally, or if he was legit on the team. Now, if you watched episode 1 of this show a couple weeks ago, you know that Coach Brown said in an interview that Malik was trying to come back to Indy, but he wasn't sure if he could make it happen. Well, apparently they did make it happen because reports are that Malik is legit back at school at Independence and back with the team. Now, this has been confirmed by several sources, including Last Chance U's official Twitter page. But there's one issue. Malik did not travel to the game last week, and the rumor is that he won't play for a couple more weeks. I'm not sure if this is some type of eligibility thing, or maybe it was some type of suspension by the team. Maybe Malik hadn't been with the team long enough to have practiced. I'm really not sure, but in the first game, Indy played multiple quarterbacks. They started Jordan Jones, who threw a little screen pass for a first down, and then on the very next play, he took it like 60 yards on a read option. But he seemed to be injured after that as he didn't come back in. Then they had another quarterback named Hildrich to finish out the game. He definitely didn't look good when he first got in there, but he eventually caught his rhythm, and he played pretty well. I'm not gonna go into too many details as I don't want this to be considered a spoiler, but let's just say this. Indy played multiple different quarterbacks, and even though Hildrich's numbers looked pretty good by the end of the game, if you actually watched the game, you saw where he left a lot of points out there, and I know JB is not happy about that. So if Jordan Jones can't come back next year, who's the guy who started, I wouldn't be shocked at all to see Malik start the next game, or at least take over at some point during the next game. We're gonna find out more about that later this week, and again, that's why you guys may get 2 episodes this week. Moving on. Not entirely sure what's going on with Bobby Bruce, but he did travel to the game dressed out, but it doesn't seem like he played. He definitely didn't start at linebacker. I didn't see him on special teams, and I didn't see where he recorded any stats on the stat sheet. Again, this could be a team suspension based on what happened with Bobby during the offseason, but that's currently all the information that I've got on it. Just know that I am keeping an eye on it, and the second I know more, so will you. Dakota Allen is still getting a lot of preseason love as he's been placed on the Senior Bowl watch list, so that's what's up. Shout out to Dakota Allen. According to ChicagoSunTimes.com, John Franklin is likely to be cut. They did a roster breakdown of how the Bears roster will likely shake out, and here's what they had to say about the corner position. They said that Chicago would likely keep 6 corners. Guys who are in include Kyle Fuller, Prince Amukamara, Bryce Callahan, and Cravon LeBlanc. On the bubble, Sherrick McManus and Marcus Cooper. Guys who are out, Michael Joseph, Kevin Tolliver, Dorian Grant, John Franklin, and Rashard France. Now it seems like they actually have this list in order, and John Franklin is second to last of the guys who are likely out. So again, at this point, we're hoping that the Bears decide to keep him around due to his athletic ability and attempt to develop him, but we just don't know, and when we find out more information, you'll know. Now, I spoke to DJ Law via Twitter DMs, for real this time. Last time, I think I spoke with a troll or an imposter on Instagram, as he couldn't provide any real details on, really anything, okay? This was like a year ago, and at the time, it didn't even cross my mind that anybody would have a reason to make a fake DJ Law account, but hey, it's weird out here. This time though, this Twitter account seems legit. It has 10,000 followers, and those followers include the official Last Chance U Twitter account, Last Chance U alum, EMCC themselves, Ronald Ali, JUCO Football Forever, and even Miss Brittany Wagner. So I think this is a real account. Now, some of y'all might remember I extended an invitation at the end of the last video, and DJ hit me up following that. He gave me a pretty detailed update on what's been going on with him, and here it is. So basically, he says that he went to UAB and everything was good, but he ended up re-injuring, I think it was his knee, which was the same injury from the show. After having to sit out for an extended amount of time, he started to gain a little bit of weight, and when he got his knees looked at, they told him that he basically had the knees of a 48-year-old man. After that doctor's appointment, it kind of put him in a depressed state, and he really lost focus. Also, due to the fact that he couldn't play, UAB's coaching staff kind of shifted their focus to, other guys. So eventually, DJ ended up leaving there and going back to Florida, where he got into a little bit of trouble, and he ended up begging the coach to come back to school just to get out of his hometown. The coach said that he could, but he had to sit the 2017 year, and he had to stay out of trouble and get his schoolwork during that period. The issue was a lack of communication. See, DJ wasn't on scholarship during that time, and he was gonna have to pay for classes. He didn't have the money to do so, so he started working and trying to save up. If you wanna help DJ to try to get back into school, man, I left his Twitter link in the description. Go follow him on Twitter, let him know that I sent you. We had a little bit discussion beyond that, but I don't want to be the one to drop that news. I definitely think that's something that DJ needs to do. I communicated that to him, and hopefully he moves forward with it. If he does, he's got my support. Now, Chad Kelly was never technically a part of the Last Chance U show, but he did attend EMCC after being dismissed from Clemson and before going to Ole Miss, then becoming the last player to be selected in this year's draft. Basically, what I'm trying to say is Chad Kelly deserves some love in this video, as he is a part of the Last Chance U extended family. While most Mr. Irrelevant guys don't even make their teams, Chad has played well in the preseason and is set to start the Broncos' final preseason game to secure his spot as the Broncos' backup quarterback. Wishing him good luck. Miss Latanya Pinkert is having a book club with Miss P on Twitter. This is going to take place on September 4th on one of my favorite books that y'all have heard me talk about before on this channel, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. This book actually helped change my life, to be honest. She's going to be hosting an open Twitter discussion on September 4th over on Twitter, so if you're interested, make sure you follow Miss P and let her know that FlemLo sent you. Last piece of news for this episode, Isaiah Wright recently did an interview. He had a conversation with the guys from PM Reviews, and I'm going to offer a summary of the interview here, but it's a 17-minute interview. I'm going to leave the link in the description. I would suggest going and checking out the full thing. I thought the guys did a great job with the interview, and Isaiah was open and honest, and it was just a good piece of content. In the interview, he talks the first time he found out he was going to be featured on a Netflix show, and how they thought it was police vans pulling up when they first saw like all the white vans pull up with all the film equipment and stuff. That's hilarious. I can just imagine. He talks about how he used to be a baseball player as a kid and how he was hitting 65-mile-per-hour pitches off a pitching machine. He talks about the fact that he played quarterback in high school, how he was recruited for wide receiver for EMCC, but tried out for running back and took it to the house on his first carry. He gives a little bit of insight on that kick return in season 1 where he wasn't supposed to be in the game. Y'all know that play right there and that whole scene made Isaiah my favorite character from season 1. He says he would love JB as a coach and doesn't directly compare him to Buddy, but he kinda does in an offhanded way. He says he got 2 years of eligibility left and he's only 21 years old, just turned 21 as a matter of fact. So he could actually get into a college, play another 2 years, and then leave when he's 23, 24, just like most college players who graduate. If he had his choice, he'd rather play in the Pac-12 or the ACC, but of course, anybody who contacts him, he's down. And that's just a little bit of the bullet points that I took from the interview. But like I say, if y'all want to check out PM Review's full interview, the link is in the description and I definitely recommend it. All right, bro, that's going to do it for the video. I know this hella informal and recording this last little part on my phone here, but I just finished editing the rest of the video. I think we're good. I think we're going to end it on that note. I appreciate everybody watching. Thank y'all once again for all the support that you show for the channel. Don't forget to like the video and tag your favorite Last Chance U players on social media in these videos if you decide to share them. My name is FlemLo, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all next time.
Yeah, I'm no quitter, 'cause I'ma go get her.